Hey guys.
Hey, we are here in Salt Lake City to see a little Disney magic at Aladdin.
All of the Disney magic, the flying carpet kind of Disney magic.
It's true. This is the classic movie from my childhood.
And my childhood, and all of your childhoods. But it's got some twists in it too. It's not exactly the same story. They've changed some things up for a number of reasons, I'm sure, but a little bit different twist on the traditional story.
So that's what I like, you know, some people you go and you're like, I've seen it. I've seen the movie, but
yeah,
it definitely has some changes.
Yeah, there's a lot of different changes in terms of how it flows and the different characters, you know, that changes quite a little bit. And then, of course, it's got your classic songs in it, as well as some brand new songs, and lots of Disney magic.
I'm curious to see how they translate the magic from like a sit-down Broadway engagement to the road, so
yeah, definitely. So we saw this one on Broadway, but we admit we were a little bit tired when we saw this one. Took the red eye in and then saw it that night, so we were a little tired, but I do want to see how they take some of the things on the road, because my goodness, some of the things in the New York City theater are just like total magic right in your face. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and we're told that we might get to see some of the magic backstage after the show, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we're hoping we get to go backstage and see how things work. So when we went to the show before, I just remember being swept away by the magic in it. The magic carpet scene just like looks you straight in the face and says, we're gonna fly right here, right in front of you.
Yeah. You know, the other thing I remember is feeling like, holy cow, how does the genie do that? It's just like a marathon of a role, so I'm curious how he does on the road here.
Right, and I just remember the sets and just kind of it capturing this essence of the world that it's built around, and also so much of the costume. So excited to see that on the road and kind of see how it translates, as well as sneak backstage and maybe see how they bring it to life.
Well, let's go check it out.
Let's go check it out.
So I always kind of like to start here because I think they don't really do them like this anymore. Like this is Aladdin is the biggest show on the road right now, and by looking up here, you can see everything you're seeing up here from here to the grid. I wouldn't shoot too high up here, but I can tell you that it takes 96 hours to put this show into the theater, which is pretty much the week before we come in. So when we're in one city, the week before we come, we have a whole advance crew. A lot of people who worked on the show during this first year who come in and work with the local crew and load this entire show in. Here and even in the Cave of Wonders towers and throughout the scenery and the props that you'll see even here. In Middle Eastern art, they very rarely represent people or animals in their actual art. So we've taken great care, even though we're a fictional city and we stick to being a fictional city. They got a great detail when they went to Marrakesh. The creative team went to Marrakesh when they were putting together the show. And these oranges, Casey Nicolau, our director and choreographers, are like, these are the colors there. But also you'll see throughout, there's lots of geometric shapes and celestial shapes and a lot to represent things so that we can, and that was in a lot of the artwork there. So they try to keep that so we keep respectful of the work of the world, even the fictional world that we're in. We have 20 of them. We have 4 or 5 of these carts, and they can transform throughout the show. One of the ways to keep things cinematic, even though we're trying not to become too cinematic in the theater, because the bigger and bigger things get, the less people will start to suspend their disbelief. But like these things come out, different things come in and out. Sometimes throughout the show, carts will come off stage just to be changed. Like now I'm selling flowers, I'm just selling fruit, and they change all throughout the evening. This is what we call a wardrobe gondola, and this is closed just for this one guy. If you're an ensemble member in Aladdin, there is nothing in your dressing room but a robe and slippers. Everything you wear, you come up to the deck to put on. But if you have nothing to wear when you come to us, it takes 13 weeks to build a closet of clothes for one person, because it's that intricate. The clothes are built in 24 shops across the world, and they get sent here and there for the various things, whether it be crafted, the millinery work, the beading work, all this kind of stuff. This is a From Lightning top costume. In it there are 3 pieces. There's this brilliant tap coat with all this detailing on the back. There's this vest that they wear underneath. And then this pair of pants. Oops. And you can see the bling on the sides and the backs. There are over 8,600 Swarovski crystals on every single male tap costume. There's a few less on the women's because they're not wearing pants, they're wearing shirts, they're wearing skirts, but they're all blinged out as it is. If you, whether you're a man or a woman in this company, you go to, when you get hired, you get sent to a place called T.O. Day if you do men's, if you're a man, and you get sent to a place called the Duke if you're a woman, and your foot is actually traced so that the boot or the shoe that you're wearing on the show is made right for you. So these shoes are made right for Cameron Hobbs. He just joined us a few weeks, so they are in fabulous shape. But these are just made for Cameron. But at the top of the second act in Prince Ali, there are 106 costume changes in a minute. Whoa. And because of that, we hire probably more local dressers than any other show to make this happen. And you know, we love our locals. We really we love to work with them, and they work so hard. Like you just become part of the family for the few weeks that we're in. These are all the headdresses that the women wear in Prince Ali at the top of the second act. And besides the fact they're just beautiful and they're on stage for such a short time, which is a good reason to see them, is there are 84 wigs in the show. Every night before half hour, which is the call for most of the actors, we have a fight call where for 15 minutes we go through all the fights, because you know, sometimes you're fighting the same people every night, sometimes you have a swing in or an understudy in, so we come in and we practice all that stuff, but it's all real swords. We start out, it's very well invested. We have $16 martial arts training swords that we sort of your training wheels. You start with that and you work your way up to a real sword. Yeah. Bob Crowley, who designed our scenery, I just think that his use of forced perspective is astounding on the show. And we're simply just calling this a ground rope. There's three different. It travels in three different sets of. Here, and it can stack however we want it to. It's all backlit, as you can see, so that's what gives it its windows. But it's just, I think it's one of the most extraordinary things on the set because it gives us such dimension. Even in A Million Miles Away, which is a song that most people don't remember. I don't know why, because I think it's charming. The first time that Aladdin and Jasmine sing together. They all stack together in the middle and create a forced perspective thing this way at night. But during that number, as it starts, if you watch the show ever again, from this side of the stage to this side of the stage during the course of the number, the sun completely sets and the moon completely rises. And during the course of that number, and I think most people don't see, and there's one turret, this turret right here, which you can sort of watch the whole thing happen based on this turret. And I just think it's romantic and wonderful and a great touch. We travel with 8 members of our orchestra, and we pick up 7 local members here in each market. They usually get a chance. They get some information before us, but they get a book, they get a recording, and then they get 2 read-downs of the score, usually on the day before we start. 3 hours, it's usually Act 1 for 3 hours, Act 2 for another 3 hours, and they come in, they meet the cast the next day. And the cast is very involved with the orchestra. Everywhere we go, they meet them, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. That was so much fun to go backstage and kind of see how some of this stuff works into the world of Aladdin.
Right? You know, they even showed us some secrets that we can't show you, so sorry.
Lots of awesome tech that they made us put the cameras away for, but so neat.
You know, the thing about Disney that I love, they pay so much attention to detail. Like, I loved hearing about how they went to I can't remember the name of the country, but they went
on
there.
all these research trips just to find out like what it looked like and how it felt and all that stuff, and just the detail of the costumes and all those, you know, hand-stitched crystals that they have in them, just beautiful. There's so much that goes into this show that, I mean, if it wasn't there, you would notice, but you can't exactly pay attention to that level of detail from the audience. And so it's so neat that they take such pride in their work.
The other thing I really appreciated is on the road, you know, there's some things you just can't do, like you could do in New York, but they like changed things enough that you still got something magical here by just doing a different set piece than they have in New York. I really liked that.
Right, that was interesting. That's something else that he told us about, was just the differences between the shows. He was saying that this touring production is the closest to actually the Australia production, which is pretty cool. I didn't know that.
I didn't even know they were in Australia.
I didn't know what to expect when we, got to go backstage and see this stuff. But the set was amazing, and I mean, it's magic, right in front of your eyes, but it's also magic in a completely other way with all the detail that goes into this.
Okay, so what'd you think of the show?
For me, Casey Nicola and the choreography in the show just melts me. I don't know what it is about his style or what it is about this show in particular, but it's funny because you can kind of always see, take note of his style, but it also adapts and warps to the show that it's in. And I love the integration of some of the more culture-specific dance moves and things like that, while it kept the energy up that he's known for.
That's energy was huge for me as well. And tying into that, the first thing that I really liked about this show is the genie. Like, there's something about, obviously the character is fun and you love the character from the movie, but, they add this, modern twist. They add, these funny jokes that you're like, hey, I remember that song.
Yeah.
But the thing, Never Had a Friend Like Me, it is like a marathon. I kind of referred to that earlier, and I don't know how he does it. Like, he's dancing, he's singing, he's laughing, and even after the song, he's out of breath. But that's part of the joke. I just think, I don't know how he does it every night, and kudos to the genie.
So amazing. And not just that, but to the entire cast. As we learned backstage, you were saying that is a marathon for everyone, and it's something that they take pride in every night. He said those 18 minutes is just everyone's magic moment, which is just so neat. I think the other thing that's fun is that they continue to update it with jokes, like you were saying. There's a little echoes of Moana in this. Surprise, surprise, my second good in this is definitely going to be the set. Shocker! I am a sucker for projection mapping and for things that move on their own, and for magic, for entrances, the way that people appear and the way that they disappear. And altogether, this is a pretty tall order. If you think about watching the animated movie of Aladdin, bringing that to the stage with real people, with sand, and all that other stuff that, you can't do any of those things on the stage. I mean, but they find a way to. It's funny, some of the pieces that are in the movie that are magic, they do really quickly in this, and then other pieces they kind of drag out, so there's some differences there. But I loved this set. I loved all the intricate details that you wouldn't even know exist. As you heard with the backstage piece, the forced perspective stuff they were talking about with the city skyline, just so much fun to see up close, and so much fun to see what the effect is when you're in the audience as well.
The other thing I really loved about this show was the woman playing Jasmine. This is her first stop in the tour, and it's her second night, and I just loved her voice. There was something about her that I just was kind of really drawn to her, and maybe it's part of that whole thing for me of I love seeing somebody doing their dreams, and it's their first few nights, but it wasn't just that. She had the talent to back it up.
Yeah, she was magical for sure, and her family was here as well, and it was so fun to kind of just see her come alive and to play to them. And at the curtain call, they were just cheering their faces off for her, so much fun to see somebody else's awesome dream come true.
Yeah. So for me, the thing that they could probably improve the most in this show is, there's a lot of new songs, and I'm not opposed to that, but they're all kind of forgettable. The songs that I remember are the songs from the movie, and granted, that's probably going to be like that for everybody. You're never going to forget Never Had a Friend Like Me and A Whole New World. But I saw this show before, and to be honest, I didn't remember any of the songs when they played them again tonight. They're really strong songwriters behind this show, but they're not the strongest songs.
Yeah, I wasn't really a fan of the music. The one that stands out the most for me is Proud of Your Boy, and I don't know if it's the way that they weave it in or where it starts, but it never really feels like it reaches the emotional level of the words that he's saying. But either way, I think this show is magical. I think there's a lot to it, especially after being able to go backstage and see the worlds that they create. It's funny when people are hard on shows and give shows a hard time, you don't think about the thousands of hours of the people behind that show and what they did to make it. And it's part of who they are. They'll never forget it. So it's just one of those things for me that I'm it's hard to pick things apart, but those are the couple things that didn't really resonate with me.
But granted, I love seeing people at the theater, especially young people, and there were so many young people in the audience, and this show is going to inspire kids to want to be in the theater, and that to me is a win.
Definitely. So much magic, and just to see their eyes just light up like that was so much fun. But we had a lot of fun here tonight at the Eccles seeing Aladdin. If you get a chance, definitely check it out. If you're not here locally, definitely check it out when the tour comes to your city.
All right, so keep following along to our channel. We're heading to New York here in a week and a half or so.
Just about a week, yep.
6 or 7 shows, so many shows, so stay tuned to keep up to date on the latest Broadway news.
Definitely all the spring shows coming up. We're going to check out some of the new shows. A couple of Well, the ones that have been there for a minute as well, just the ones that we need to catch up on. But yeah, headed out for our annual trip in May, and definitely gonna check it out. And get us some Los Tacos, because I missed the tacos.
We need some tacos.
We need some Los Tacos for sure. And some smackery.
Yeah.
But anyway, we had a lot of fun here at Aladdin. We'll see you in the next one.